What's up, fellas? Welcome to the garage. Right now I'm in the middle of an engine swap on this Ford Escort Express I got here. And while I have the engine outside, it makes perfect sense to do the big service, as it's called. That means changing the water pump and the timing belt kit. So in this video we'll quickly go over the timing belt replacement on a Ford 1.8 turbo diesel Endura DE engine. So check it out. I pulled the existing engine out already, and here I got my replacement engine. We'll be changing the timing belt kit on this one. This here is the weaker version. It has around 70 horsepower, and this one should be a bit stronger, around 90 horsepower. So if you're interested in the engine swap into more detail on this Escort Express van we got here, the link to the playlist will be right here. But anyways, these two engines have their differences, but mainly on the outside, at least as far as I can tell. You got different inlet and exhaust manifolds, and also the turbo here, you can see it's kind of different than here. The placement is different as well. Also, this exhaust from the inlet is on the other side. That's because this one isn't intercooled. As you can see, the air goes straight into the turbo and then into the engine, while on this engine there comes an intercooler here in between. So the air will go out of the turbo through the intercooler and then into the engine. But anyways, to keep on the topic here, the timing belt replacement kit is the same for both engines. As you can see here, I only taken the timing belt covers off, so we can see exactly how the timing belt runs. On these engines we actually have two timing belts to change. One connects the water pump, the camshaft and the oil pump, while the other one we have back here just connects the crankshaft with the fuel pump. So on this replacement engine I have already changed the water pump that comes fitted right here. You see, this one is brand new, nothing special about it, just removing these 4 bolts, then removing the water pump itself, and then just cleaning the surface back there. With the new pump there comes a seal that comes obviously in between the pump and the block, but my tip here would be to just use some sealant, you know, RTV or what's it called, on that seal, just to prevent any possible leaks. But the most important thing here is to keep the mating surfaces clean before assembly. One very important thing before removing the belts themselves is to mark all the pulleys here. The camshaft pulley, the crankshaft here, and of course the fuel pump. The official instructions will tell you to block the camshaft, which you do by removing this cover and just blocking it right here with a plate, and also sort of a tool that you insert into the block behind here somewhere to really lock the engine in place. But the easier, or at least quicker way, is to just mark the pulleys that have to be aligned. So if we keep them moving in the same exact relation as they were before, you know, this engine ran before, we should be just fine. Also, if we get some little movement here like so, doesn't really matter as long as we match this marking here. After installing the timing belt, we should be just fine, you know. If we miss a tooth on the belt, this will be very, very visible, you see? So actually we got a pretty good chance of nailing this. So now we can just remove all the tensioners we got here. That's one. That's the other one. I've already removed a bolt here. And down here, for this belt connecting the crankshaft and the fuel pump, we had this one here. You see? Like that. Here in between there comes a spring. This spring, and we will have to put this back as it was. Here you can see how it looks when it's fitted, and we'll be aiming to fit it exactly like that. It's always a good idea to take your old belts and all the tensioners and compare them to the components you received in the package when you bought it new. So it's always a good idea to check if the belts are the exact same length as the old ones, as well as the tensioners. They should look pretty much the same as the old ones. A pro tip here: always wash your hands before touching the new components, so the store will have them back if you happen to order the wrong ones. In this kit you also got some new bolts, which is nice. Right, these two are exactly the same length, so we'll use them like that. In case you're wondering, the kit I'm using here is this one, so you can order this one or an equivalent. So now, after checking all the components, we can actually go and install the first shorter belt connecting the crankshaft and the fuel pump. It's also a good idea to clean everything here with a brake cleaner or something like that, just to avoid getting any grease or oil onto the belt. Now we can hang this first tensioner on there. It is a good idea to use just a little bit of thread locker. This isn't really necessary, but you know, just for a safety precaution. We have to catch this lower hole onto that pin on the block, like so, and we can get this a little closer. Okay, and now we can proceed with putting on the belt. The correct way to put on the belt is so that numbers here are facing out, or that you can read them looking at the engine from this side. See? So we'll just put this on here. Just making sure all these markings are set. We just have to make sure that nothing moves here, or if it accidentally does, we have to move it again to match these marks here. Okay, the belt is on there, and now we'll try fitting this spring in between here, and then we'll see where we end up with the markings. Alright, so we released this tensioner and we are spot on the markings here. So that's great. We can actually proceed now and install the large belt as well. Then we will turn this thing over a couple of times and then we will tighten all the tensioners. Again, can't go wrong with a little bit of thread locker here. Okay, so at this point we are still on our markings here. Nothing has moved, which is just great. All looking good right now. So now what we do is we will take this kind of key and try tensioning this belt a little. See, it goes off center and it pushes the belt out. So here on this other tensioner we got kind of scale here. You see, we got two arrows here, and what we're aiming at here is for them to cover each other. On this special occasion we got two engines here. We can take a look at where the arrow has landed on this engine. This belt, of course, it's an old belt as well, And as you can see, the arrow has drifted a little towards that way. That is perfectly normal because the belt itself will stretch over time. So this one actually, if we were to keep using this belt, which by the way doesn't seem all that bad, we could go ahead and just tension it some more. But on this one, we will tension it according to specifications, so we'll be aiming at arrow pointing at the other arrow. Of course, we expect this to move a little while we rotate the engine around, but that's no biggie, we'll just readjust it. So now let me just turn this all the way till this arrow points to the other arrow, or you know what, we'll just leave it that way, kind of overstretched a little, and we'll see when we end up when we rotate the engine a couple of times, you know, just to check if the markings will catch the block markings again. Okay, one revolution done. On the crankshaft we are spot on. Here we are 180 degrees off, which is of course perfectly normal because the camshaft rotates at half the speed of the crankshaft. Alright, that's the second turn and we are still spot on the markings. See? All the markings match perfectly, so we are good to go there. But this tensioner here shows us that the belt is actually too stretched right now. I didn't really anticipate this. I thought this would slacken a little bit, but the exact opposite has happened. That's interesting. But anyways, let's readjust this so the arrow will point to this little arrow right here. Alright, we're bang on the arrow right now. So let's try turning the engine over a couple of times more. Still a little bit too stretched, as I see here. Let's give it another couple of turns. Okay, I'll have to slacken it a little more. Alright, after turning it a good couple of times, 10 times or so, we are still spot on all the three markings, and also the arrow is almost spot on here on the lower arrow. We will leave this as it is because the belt will stretch a little over time, and this will get us a good margin to be still spot on after a good couple thousand kilometers. Anyways, now is the time to torque all these tensioners to spec, and then we can put the covers back on. According to the manual, we got 50 Newton meters on these two and 45 Newton meters on this one. When I was torquing this tensioner, it did move a little bit more, so I will turn the engine around just a couple more times just to be sure. Okay, so I actually went ahead and readjusted this just a little bit. So I got really close to these two arrows pointing at each other. So that should be perfect. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this time. If you're curious how this engine swap will end up, you can check it out right over here. But in any case, I hope you learned something new. I wish you the best of luck with the timing belt replacement if you're doing one. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I invite you to like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the next one. Be good!